Hello, photo students. It's Friday, and we are working on our poetry final. Several of you, a third of you, selected to do a poetry project. And in this case, we are going to learn the correct way to place text on our imagery based on where we want to place the text and what images we have to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and try to find that image that we created and did text on from the last tutorial, which was just a single line of text, and we'll talk about that. But I want to show you what would happen if you have more than one line of text, like a whole paragraph perhaps. Not too much though. Remember, you shouldn't use more than 4 lines or it'll take up too much of your project. So I'm going to try to go ahead, and you can open from computer, or you can also open recent. And if you'll see here right there, Fitchhorn N_poetry, boom, shakalaka laka. So if you've worked recently on something, it should still be there. Oh, thank goodness. See, this is another reason why I love working in vector-based programs, is because if you are able to open the original file, look at this, I can move and replace the text. So you'll see I have a single line of poetry, and like I've stated to you before, a single line's great because you don't have to fuss so much about the orientation of whether it's left aligned, right aligned, or center aligned, because it's one line. So, but the reason why I didn't put it in the middle is because it would then center everything a little too much, and the bird's beak is already dipping into that rule of top thirds plus in the left vertical third, so it's in the horizontal and vertical third. So I felt to balance out the raven and make it a little bit more intentionally. Notice, look at that huge difference, you guys. Look at what a difference just moving a quote makes in the project. There it is centered, and there it is kind of balancing out. But if we didn't put Edgar Allan Poe there to balance out this corner, maybe if we put it up here, it would feel too claustrophobic. Maybe if we put it over here somewhere, it would crash our image and feel like everything's falling off to the left. I intended to put it down here where it's readable and it helps balance out the text up here. But let's see if you're going to use a line of text, the difference between left alignment, right alignment, and center alignment, and why you'd want to do that. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is, that I went to that website and I copied the line, so we'd have some more to work with right here, the ghastly grim first component of that line. And then I'm going to use the text tool, and I'm going to just go ahead and let's start over here in the left. And it's probably going to go over the bird. I have a feeling I'm going to end up putting the multiple lines over there. Okay, so I've got a nice big text box that will fit the whole quote, and I'm going to go Command V because there it is. So if you copy it from a website into there, I'm not going to use the quotes here because that doesn't make sense to have them on the ends there. It starts here, so your quotes should be at the very beginning. And these aren't real quotes. In graphic design, you'll learn how to find real quotes, but this is not Adobe Illustrator, so I don't know if you guys can find where the real quotes are. So just use the ones on your keyboard, which is the double. Don't use the single. All right, but you'll notice, look at that. Would Fitchhorn give you guys a good grade on that? No, she would not, because of the fact that it's over the imagery. It's ruining the most important. How this text is stacked. First of all, let's change it to the typeface that I liked, the classical one that looked like it would have been printed in a book from the same era as Edgar Allan Poe. So over here in appearances, I'm going to go ahead and go with Old Standard TT. It looks like it would be found in a book from this time period. And then remember that we also yesterday on our text, we learned that down here, grab it just a little bit more. I know you guys don't like seeing the whole screen, but that's fine. Down here, we can change the way the text appears with special effects. And one of those that will help the white pop a little bit more is just adding a tiny bit of drop shadow. So I've added enough drop shadow. If you guys want to see what happens, so you might not see the difference between this. Let me undo, Command Z, undo. Do you see? Look at what happens. Everyone, look at the text on my screen. So Shift Command Z is redo. See the difference? Whoa, a drop shadow makes a difference. But over here, so you can see what happens when you increase the opacity up a little bit more. If you need a bigger boost than 65% and you want maybe 100%, watch the type on the screen. Do you see it? Made it even more jump. But the alignment of this poem is to the left. All right? And it shows you right here. Do you guys see right here where it's telling you it's aligned left? which means it's a straight edge, which is what you want to do when you have it to the left. You want a straight edge of text and a straight edge of the paper. In graphic design, you would take out this quote and put it like outside this edge so all your text stacks nicely. And I might even do that really quick. Let me go ahead and copy over this because it's driving me insane. I'm sorry, I'm too much of a perfectionist. So all my text is to the left. I'm going to make a little, let's see. Okay, and then just so that I have room to move this over here and still have room for the poem. Remember not to put it too close to the edge because then you won't have room. So I've got my little quotes. And I've got my little, all my text in alignment. But here's the thing, you guys, is that it's over the raven. That's lame. So I'm going to try center alignment, which when I click back on this text, if you choose center alignment, it stacks as if it's on an axis. Like if I drew a pole all the way down the middle of the text, it would be balanced on both sides, which if you're, the only way this is appropriate, the only way, and I'm going to delete this for now, the only way that this is appropriate is if it's in the very center. You never ever use center alignment like unless it's in the middle. But then, even if I put it here, okay, it won't work there because it's overdued. What should we name him? What should we name our raven? This one's not bad, but it's crashing the top. Like maybe you could use it here if you don't put it up against the edge, if you bring down the text size just a tiny bit. So I'm going to try to like take it down to maybe, let's see what 18 does. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So if you want to put it at the top, as long as it's not crashing the imagery, but then Edgar Allan Poe looks really like strange over here. So maybe make it smaller so it's less noticeable and it doesn't take up so much space. All right. So now one of my choices might be to put it to the left, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be too claustrophobic with this name down here. So when you choose left alignment, or sorry, right alignment, you want to make sure that it's against the edge. So if ever you've got text, which is totally doable, you're allowed to put text to a right edge. I love the way it stacks over his head. I love the way it's asymmetrical. It does feel as if Edgar Allan Poe is going like this, and this is going to fall off the edge. I'm going to make this a tiny bit smaller, even smaller than the line of poetry, which is 18 pixels. I'm going to make it 14, and then I'm going to right alignment or left alignment and put it over here. Maybe it needs to be a little bit smaller. Okay, so it fits and it's not up against the edge. There. I feel that now that it's not all going to fall off the right, it balances his beak pointing to the left, and this is, but if you're going to put text against this edge, you have to make the alignment of it be right alignment. If you're going to put text closer to the left edge, you have to choose left alignment, and the only time you use align center text is when you're putting it somewhere in the center. So you have a couple of options, play around with it. You can also try stacking a poem like this. Do you guys see the difference? That's also awesome too. Play around with what it looks like stacked. I like that also. I really like that. I like that it's not going over the trees whatsoever. So please realize when you adjust your text box, you're going to get a totally different stacking of what's called rags. Do you see these raggedy edge? In graphic design or in book design, it's called rags. And how your rags look like is up to you, but you know, you can even make this go, now that we're on the edge, I can even explode the point size and have it just go all the way down the side like that and make it really noticeable. Yeah, so there you go. That is a quick little tutorial on proper text placement using principles that you will learn in graphic design about good typography. That's it for today, kids. See you next time.